I don't get it. The conversations are great, but I'm not making it to the offer. See, my client was doing really well. When she came to me, she was already getting interviews, she was already building rapport, and she knew that the hiring managers liked her because the recruiter would tell her, hey, you are the favorite right now. And yet, for an entire year, every single time it came down to the offer, it was never her. On paper, it looked like nothing was wrong, but there was something almost intangible that was off. It wasn't about her intelligence or her experience. It was really when you put everything together, it came down to the red thread. That red thread was missing. And in a lot of situations, when this happens and you get really close but don't quite make it, it's about an alignment between your words, your confidence, and your strategy. And when these three come together, it really changes everything. And so today, I'm going to break these three down so that you can see the difference between a search that feels scattered and a search that feels more strategic and that gets you a whole lot more momentum. Hey there, this is the Uncommon Career Podcast, and I'm here with you every single week to help you win the job search. We don't do 30-minute resume services or 5-minute career hacks. We don't do the manifestation fluff here, and we don't ask you to fake it till you make it with confidence that really won't stand under pressure. Our goal here is to make sure you have what you need to be a real, true top candidate, not just to look like one. My name is Patricia Ortega, and I'm your brand strategist, your career coach, and here to help you think differently about the job search. Now, if you and I aren't yet connected on LinkedIn, let's make it official. Head into my description and click that link, or head over to LinkedIn and search for PM Ortega, one word, and then you and I can be connected. I'll ask you a few questions to make sure that I send you the best resource for the stage you're currently at right now. All right, so let's get into today's episode. As we mentioned earlier, the three key areas of all successful career moves, especially now, are verbiage, confidence, and strategy. So let's start with verbiage. Have you ever heard when someone shares a story, but it's so crisp, it's so clean, and it's so resonant that it makes people move, it makes people take action? That's what I mean with the deep work of verbiage. I know there's some resume services that are like, we'll meet with you for 30 minutes and you'll send in this questionnaire and then we'll give you a resume. No, I'm talking about coaching through to truly understand the impact of your accomplishments, to find the words and the right metrics to articulate that so it resonates specifically with the leaders in your industry for your function. And then to communicate the impact, which goes beyond just the words that you choose, but how you share it. Now, a couple of ways that this verbiage bottleneck can show up in your search is if you're getting interviews, but those interviews aren't converting into full offers. It means that your resume is getting you in the door, but once you share your experience, it's just missing a little something that they're looking for. It's also a bottleneck if maybe you haven't gotten to interviews yet, but as you're sharing your experience, whether in a screening with a recruiter or even just sharing your experience with someone that you know, and as you're sharing it, you're thinking, yeah, it's not coming out with the same impact that I know I have at my organization. That's typically a verbiage bottleneck. Now, the second core area or the second piece of this is confidence. And not only confidence, like, I always call it unicorn confidence, where people are like, you can do anything. You can be anything you want. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I do not believe in that. I do not believe in manifestation. I do not believe in like all of those pieces of like anything you want. It could be yours. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car. I believe in confidence that is harnessed in the Batcave. Confidence that is anchored in reality. Confidence that when there's a dip in your search, we can come back to that and say, here is the fact. I know we're feeling this way, and we can be in the feels. Like, we need to have our moment, but we can't stay there. You can't stay there because you're a rock star in your own right before that rejection email, and you will be a rock star in your own right after that rejection email. And so that's what I mean. I mean confidence anchored in accomplishments, in reality of who you are. And that helps you to truly believe it and then address any friction that's getting in the way of you harnessing that confidence and walking into the room with that confidence, even when you're feeling under pressure. And a lot of this, confidence anchored in reality piece, it really comes in, especially if you've had that layoff, toxic work environment, a loss in your life, a setback. That's when that really comes in. But I'll be honest with you, I just talked to one of our clients who just recently got hired. We had this conversation and she's like, I wanted someone who would be there with me through the ups and the downs, right? The interesting thing is she had none of those situations going on. But she knew well ahead of time. She was like, I know what the job search feels like. I've seen all the LinkedIn messages. I was not willing to go there. I wanted to get ahead of this. And so this is where that confidence anchored in reality comes in. Now, the last core area or the last component of a successful career change is strategy. Now, I find this really interesting. I had a call with a different client. They just happened to both be this week, but I had a call with a different client. She actually got hired at her favorite company, which I'm really excited about. But she came in from the very beginning and she was like, oh no, my issue is not confidence. I am solid in confidence. I know I can do this. I can just talk off the cuff. I can, once they see me in the interview, that's it. It's seal deal. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we might just be in great shape. And so I said, well, then what we need is this third piece, strategy. How is it that I leverage my experience and my ability to communicate? How do I go from relationship building to a career opportunity in one conversation flat? How do I sell my value without being that person who's constantly talking about themselves? Hello, Chad, Mr. Overconfident, underqualified, taking your position. That's the strategy layer. Now, I'm going to be very honest with you because I care about you. In that conversation, we said on the surface, it was like, I'm really confident and I've got the verbiage. I know exactly what to say. I just need the strategy. Once we went into interview, like the mock interview, what we realized is not having the strategy was costing her the confidence. And the strategy involved the verbiage. So they're all, again, the word of the day today is intertwined. They all seem to be intertwined. And once we put that strategy layer in there, she was able to take her natural communication ability and we helped her to kind of craft the words, bring in the metrics. And now she's like, I never realized that being so intentional means that I can work off the cuff, but also know that I'm hitting the mark, as opposed to having a great conversation, but not necessarily resonating with the employer. In your own job search, the strategy bottleneck might look like applying everywhere and not really having a clear target. It might also look like not knowing exactly how to network without feeling awkward because you're not sure how you're going to get from point A to point B, or you're not really sure what point B is supposed to be in this particular conversation. Okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself here. I don't want to make this too long. Just know, if it's a career change that you need, you're really looking at 3 core areas. Your verbiage, meaning your brand, your confidence, and making sure that it's anchored in reality. No fluff coaching, but like true confidence that you can pull on even during the dip. And number 3, strategy, having that layer that anticipates the friction and addresses it before it comes up, and knowing how to get from point A to point B, from relationship building to career opportunity. So verbiage, confidence, strategy. These 3 core areas, by the way, are exactly what we work on during our 90-minute intensive. So if you're realizing that 1, 2, or 3 of these seem to feel a bit out of sync and you want to bring them all together, then head over to theuncommoncareer.com/intensive to learn more. So here's the bottom line. You don't need a ton of action in every which direction. What you need is really sharp verbiage that resonates with employers. You need confidence that's anchored in reality and pressure tested for those high-risk conversations. And you need a strategy that's going to anticipate friction and eliminate it before it ever comes up. All of this is so you have a system that you don't just hope it works and see what happens, but it's a system you have faith in, a system you expect to work because it's worked over and over again before. And so if you're realizing that one of those areas feels slightly off, know that that is information. It's an opportunity to decide if and what you want to leverage. Again, whether you move forward with support or refine this on your own, I hope this episode has been helpful for you. And again, know that Denise and I are praying for you. We're cheering you on, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, thanks for listening. I really appreciate you spending time with me today. If you found this episode helpful, please tap the 5-star review on the show's homepage in your podcast app. It would absolutely make my day, and it helps others discover the Uncommon Career Podcast. Now, to download your free career resources and learn how I help seasoned professionals land amazing offers in as little as 90 days, click on the link in the description or go to theuncommoncareer.com. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one.